That day, everything was annoying Patrick Black. He was looking through his accounts and could not understand why his profits had become so small in recent months. He had been running this restaurant for many years and it always brought him money. Then he decided to talk to the manager, whose name was Cynthia Wright, who actually was his mistress. However, the woman said that she was very surprised by this situation with profit. Anyway, Cynthia didn't get the position in his restaurant just because she was his lover. The fact was that the woman was spying on his employees. When he checked her records, he saw that many of his subordinates had committed minor misdemeanors of one sort or another. But if you put them all together, this could explain the lack of profit. So Patrick called all the employees and told about their wrongdoings. He said that he would deduct everything from their salary. After chastising the staff, the man rushed to the meeting with Eric Dawson, whom he had known since his college days. When he arrived at the bar, his friend was already waiting for him at the table. "God, Patrick, you look terrible," he exclaimed when he saw his friend. "What happened?" Then the man told why he was so worried. "Well, I think I can help you," Eric replied. "I have a person who will help you figure it all out. Of course, it won't be cheap." He wrote a number on a piece of paper and handed it to Patrick. "Andrea Simons?" the man asked after reading the name. "Yes, she served 7 years in a local prison, so believe me, you will not find a better specialist," Eric answered. The next morning, Patrick hurried to the restaurant. Then he had an appointment with the very woman who could solve his problems. Andrea turned out to be an elegant lady of about 40 years old. Her face looked familiar to Patrick, but he couldn't remember where he had seen it before. After listening to his story, the woman promised to help, but asked for one thing: he should not interfere in her work. Patrick agreed. He decided to go on vacation with Cynthia. 2 weeks of holidays flew by unnoticed. But when the man returned to his hometown, he was eager to see how his restaurant had changed. However, when he arrived at the restaurant, he did not see a single car in the parking lot, which meant that there were no visitors and employees. And then the door opened, and Andrea appeared on the threshold. "Mr. Black, the restaurant had been closed for 2 weeks now. I have fired everyone. Besides, you had orders for expensive banquets that I have cancelled. I'm afraid you won't have the money to pay the penalty," she said. "What have you done? You ruined my business," the man shouted. The woman just smiled and reminded Patrick of one story. The fact was that they were partners who had started this business together. However, as soon as they had started getting profit, Patrick decided to take over everything alone. Then he set up a tax fraud and framed Andrea. As a result, she was sent to prison for a long 7 years. Having received all the money in his own hands, Patrick opened his own restaurant. After she was released, the woman changed her name and appearance, so Patrick did not recognize her right away. When she had the opportunity, she took revenge on her former companion. After learning the whole truth, Patrick fell to his knees and burst into tears. However, this did not have the desired effect on Andrea. Justice had been served, and Andrea entered a new life, where there was no place for deceit and betrayal.